So let's look at the headlines now on what the papers are saying this morning. And I have my regulars, CEO of CKN News, Chris Kende-Nwandu is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mazi Nwandu.
Odogu.
Good to see you.
Nice to
and I like your outfit, I must say.
Thank you very much.
Really interesting.
Yes.
And we have a chartered accountant and analyst as well, Shoso Kwade. Nice to have you join me.
Morning,
Thank you very much.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. Exactly. Yeah. That's nice. Let's get into it now. We'll start with the Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint says, amidst rising insecurity, NSA vows federal government won't hire mercenaries or negotiate with bandits or terrorists. Right? Amidst rising insecurity, NSA vows federal government won't hire mercenaries and negotiate with bandits, terrorists. That's on the Blueprint newspaper. And Daily Sun is next. We're starting now. Daily Sun says illegal possession of AK-47. Buhari restates shoot on sight order. Says federal government will be harder on criminals. NSA rules out hiring mercenaries to fight insurgents and bandits. Okay, that's the Daily Sun. We'll certainly be looking at all those as we open discussion. Daily Times is next. Daily Times says merchants making huge foreign exchange on COVID-19 vaccines. Wow. All right, Daily Times. Oh, okay. The Daily Times says gunmen abduct teachers, students in Edo. Bandits still on rampage in Kaduna and others. Okay, that was a mix-up earlier. Now, the Daily Times is saying gunmen abduct teachers, students in Edo. Bandits still on rampage in Kaduna and others. All right, that's Daily Times. Let's look at Daily Trust. Daily Trust says, Borno elders, experts to federal government, hire mercenaries to end Boko Haram. It will be harder on criminals. Buhari is saying this. Negotiation is a sign of weakness. Mongono is saying this as the National Security Advisor. NSA speaks our minds. Officers are saying this. Okay, negotiation is a sign of weakness. Okay, that's what the NSA says. Okay, from there, let's go to The Guardian. Federal government talks tough as bandits kill over 40 in 1 week. Federal government talks tough as bandits kill over 40 in 1 week. Restates order to shoot at sight anyone found with AK-47 and banditry becoming too much. Traditional rulers tell Buhari will not negotiate with insurgents. NSA says rules out engagement of mercenaries. Okay, that's the Guardian newspaper. Leadership is next. Leadership newspaper says manufacturing sector struggles despite federal government's manufacturers struggle despite federal government's 1 trillion naira grant. Okay, manufacturing sector struggles despite federal government's 1 trillion naira grant. We want to find out reason. All right, let's move now to the News Direct. Federal salary structure can't be imposed on states. That's the NGF is saying this. Okay, federal government's salary structure can't be imposed on the states. Okay, that's the Nigeria Governors Forum saying this. All right, from there, let's go to the Punch. The Punch newspaper. Vaccine side effects fear. Vaccination continues, says federal government. 8 countries suspend the rollout. We haven't seen unusual reactions after administering AstraZeneca vaccine that the government is saying this. Patient safety, our highest priority, United Kingdom manufacturer insists. All right, vaccination continues, says federal government. 8 countries suspend the rollout due to some concerns here and there. That's the Punch newspaper. The Vanguard is next and is focusing on insecurity. Federal government shoots down talks on mercenaries and vows to come out in full force against insurgents. Says negotiating with bandits suggests weakness. Insists the government will be blackmailed. Reveals meeting with Sheikh Gumi at Niger State government. Orders closure of schools. And bandits demand 200 million naira to free 19 people abducted in Niger. Bandits kill 7 in Kaduna State. Burn property, rustle cattle. And banditry taking too much toll on us. Traditional rulers tell Buhari these are all issues of security and on the front page of the Vanguard. Let's go to the Nation newspaper now, which is the last one we're looking at. The Nation newspaper says, Buhari, why I gave order to shoot criminals with AK-47. Why I gave order to shoot criminals with AK-47. No negotiation with bandits and terrorists. Government won't use mercenaries. All right. The president was explaining the reason he gave the shoot on sight order to criminals or anybody who is having AK-47, and he was saying that AK-47 is a registered weapon for only security agents. So anyone in the bushes that is carrying AK-47 must have been illegal, one way or the other. That is what he says. Okay, let's take it from there. Chris and Chesson, if you see the headlines on the papers today, most of them touch the issue of security, and especially when the National Security Advisor is saying that we'll come all out for or against the insurgents and bandits. Well, one would expect that you should have been all out all the while. We've been here for the past 11 years. I wonder what you make of this.
Well, not only him, the CDS, General Rabo, yesterday, during the visit of the service chiefs and himself to Ibadan, also reiterated that and saying that in the next few weeks that banditry will be a thing of the past. To me, that was a tall order. I remember...
Well, Nigerians have heard this before.
That is where I was going to.
Deadlines and deadlines.
I remember the former chief of staff, former army chief, giving a directive that within 48 hours, 7 days and 14 days, a certain general should be able to prepare and even arrest the Shekau and the rest of them. That also passed. Good. Part of human behavior and also even economy and every aspect of life is setting a target for yourself. If you don't set a target, definitely you are not living. But it's also good to set realistic targets. If you look at what some of the, let me go a bit further, what of the banks are doing when they ask their marketers, go and get 3 billion, 30 billion and the rest of them. That is very unrealistic, because where are you going to mop up 30 billion from? But it is a target. You might not be able to meet it, but at least you make some level of advancement and be able to look at that target. So I'm happy that they are saying that. But just as we say in local parlance, I hope it's not initial gragra. If you understand what I mean, we are having serious challenges.
No, of course,
now.
Nigerians can't wait for this to be over.
We cannot
but the
wait.
point there is, when that kind of a time frame is given and it is not met, what impact does it have in the minds of Nigerians who have heard this kind since the last 10, 11 years? We've been hearing a lot of this kind of time frames. Okay, by the end of this year, terrorism will be over to being a thing of the past, and so on and so forth.
You see, if you look at an average Nigerian, their confidence in the government is negative, not even zero. Now, when something is at zero, you can like possibly build towards the positive side. But when it's negative, you must first put effort to get to the zero level before you now put the positive aspect of it. Everyone that reads this headline, we say, is the same story. And that's why some of us have said, leave the pages of the papers. Let's see action coming out. Let's add situation where some of those people are actually being picked up, prosecuted, and everyone can see. Let's experience peace in some areas. As we speak, insecurity has filtered around the whole nation. Just yesterday, here in Ikorodu, I heard about the kidnapping of someone, a business mogul there, and 100 million is being requested for. So if we have it in Lagos, we have it in Oyo, we have it in Enugu, we have it. So it's not only kidnapping starts the business, move to banditry, and they graduate into terrorists. So we must nip it at the bud. It's enough of us. We've had timeline. We'll end it within 7 days, 14 days. We want a situation where people can move freely. They've set target for themselves, like CKN said, whether realistic or not realistic. What we want is peace. The federal government has given, the president has given an action, shoot at sight. This is coming pretty late. Several lives has been wasted. Not only the people that died, you've stigmatized some people. You've actually put fear in the heart of certain people that is what they will live with for the rest of their life. People watch their parents being killed. People watch their friends being killed. People cannot move. Just last week here, somebody left Lagos for Benin and was attacked on the road. She escaped that death and vowed never to even travel by road again. She resided in Benin and just came to Lagos to do some businesses. And like we keep saying, it's not only the physical death alone that we're talking of. The way they are killing us economically. Imagine somebody coming all the way from Benin to Lagos to transact business and go back. These are normal things that we do before now. But such person will now have to restrict his or herself to a certain place which will not give room for. So let government act. This one that the government, the president is given the order, let us see it happening. Situation where even for me, individuals that are promoting that people that are carrying AK-47, they are protecting themselves. Some of these people should be brought to the court of law. That is, you are inciting and you are giving confidence into this banditry. It's not only the people that are carrying it out, also the people that are making the words, encouraging them to do it, should also be prosecuted so that you will mind the kind of things you say. Peace must reign for prosperity to have to be in the country.
All right. And when it comes to the shoot outside, some people have said that it is likely, or it is also, there's a probability or possibility that it could be abused too by security agents who are trigger happy or high-handed, because one way or the other, sometimes you see somebody you don't like, and you hate the person so much. Exactly. You just
for every word like this, there's always a positive and negative.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with you. Yes. It is to me, it's more like a silver bullet being given. But what choice do we have under the circumstances? Is between the devil and the blue deep sea. We're having serious security challenges, and security agencies have practically done everything within their powers to make sure that we nip this in the bud. But the utterances of some of our leaders supporting some of these bandits and the rest of them is not helping matters at all. A governor was quoted, not even was quoted, said. It's not even being quoted now because it wasn't quoted out of context. Said that those that are having AK-47 had the right to it and to protect themselves and the rest of them.
I spoke with the chief of staff to that governor, and he said the governor was quoted out of context.
But he was, of course.
He said it, we all heard it.
Mike, you know everything we say will get quoted out of context.
Well, I am quoting him.
Yeah, no.
Even the one you are saying,
quoted out of context. So that's the situation. So personally, I agree with the president holistically and totally, but we should also, the president should make sure that he's most often than not, in the past, the president has made utterances that even his subordinates don't adhere to. We saw instances where the president asked some Inspector General of Police to go to Benue only to realize the man
relocate to Benue.
Only for us to learn that the man said that the president said, "Hey, we didn't even know that."
I didn't even know he
didn't go there and the rest of them. So it is not just making that utterances. Yeah. But what he has done now is also to give the security agencies the power to be able to move in and make sure that we nip this in the bud, irrespective of wherever this comes from. Even the president's home state of Katsina is not safe. The governor has been crying and shouting and the rest of them. It has moved to Zamfara. It has moved to... Just yesterday, it has moved to Edo State. I'm sure you must have heard that some students were abducted to school in Edo State. It has moved down south. Before south is moving to southwest, southeast, and the rest of them. Then we are going to have a serious challenge on our hands if we are not having it already. Just by a few days ago, the Lagos, Benin Express Road was practically shut down because armed robbers, armed bandits killed some luxurious boat drivers the road was shut down for close to 8 hours. There was no movement. So we're having serious problems. So this is not the time. And that's where I totally agree with you, son. Let us talk less on the front pages of newspaper. Let us talk less on television stations.
And do more in the bushes.
Do more in the bushes. That is where the action is. You don't need to. You don't see the U.S. security agencies coming to tell you that, oh, in the next 24 hours, I'm going to clean up. They will deliver and not tell you what they have done. That is
for itself.
That is, you will see what they have done.
Yeah.
They didn't say that they were going to kill Osama bin Laden. We only have Barack Obama come and say, he has been killed, he has been eliminated. But our own will give information to the bandits that we are coming, we have recruited, we have sent, the most ridiculous one was what I read a few days ago. We are sending 6,000 soldiers to Zamfara. Can you imagine? Now you have already told the bandit your strength.
Your strength, yeah.
You are not telling them, okay, you are sending 6,000, okay, let us mobilize and raise ours to 12 and 18. You don't do that. There are certain security issues that you don't just divulge on the pages of. And by the time we start reporting, they say, oh, the press all over, and we have started again. It's the press that. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, I think the new strategy for our security agencies is that they should do more of intelligence gathering, sophistication in terms of information technology.
But on one hand, CKN, on one hand, because we have all been in this business sometimes where government has been criticized for not communicating enough. Maybe telling
when you deliver.
It could be a way of letting Nigerians
No.
Deliver first.
Okay.
Your action will speak it out.
Mike, I'm on a platform,
Okay.
I'm the Nigerian Army platform, public relations platform, which some of us, most journalists are. And on a daily basis, we get information on some of the activities on the military in some of these zones, even pictures, okay, which we cannot publish. Most often that we don't publish for whatever reasons. That is that. But you don't need to tell me as a journalist that I'm moving to Safara tomorrow with 6,000. I want to go and confront this thing. What is my business with that?
And when they say you have 2 months
to deliver.
So that means you have 2 months to have your
They give them an ultimatum of 2 months to lay down their arms.
Yes.
You're also going to move into also. So they are just contradicting themselves. That is not the way to go.
Mike, I feel the way and manner they need to re-strategize is, like I said, talk less, act more.
That is it.
When you see, by the time we make you a chief in your area, like CKA, you put on your regalia. Even someone that did not receive invitation, as soon as he sees you putting you the red cap.
But I'm not wearing the cap.
You didn't wear today. That's why most people cannot.
But it's a white cap chief.
But as soon as you put on your red cap, everybody knows that this is a chief coming. So when we see some of this action being carried out, journalists definitely, that is the best of the work they are actually called to do. They will publicize it. But not situation where you are putting out your strategy of how you want to eliminate people. If somebody wants to come to you and say, I want to come and rob you, but I'm coming through the back door, has he not exposed himself? So definitely as he's coming, you don't need to go to the front door. Just stay at the back door, lay ambush, and finish the game before he comes in.
You are coming.
You are coming.
So wait for me at 12.
By 12, I'm coming, and I'm coming through the back door. So definitely, you have given me the information. All I need to do is, guys, mobilize some of the OPC guys. Say, don't go to the front door. That place is free. Come to this back door, and at 12 noon.
That's where the action will be.
So we should have less of this. Let them expedite action. Mike, people are dying economically every day. It's pretty difficult to feed people in this nation. And you see, it's posing threats on people that are even walking on the road. You walk on the road and people even look at you in your car, feel that you have more than enough. And that's why every day people break door, they steal phone, they attack, because they don't have anything to eat. And this boils down to insecurity. Where there is no security, there can be prosperity.
America, to worsen the situation, don't also forget that even within the military, they have informants. And that in itself is a challenge for me. So if you have, if
recall that a military officer and his girlfriend were arrested.
Supplying them with arms and uniform and rest. So they have informants. Then you're also passing this information again, not only to them, but also to their informants. So there's a disconnect. I think that the new service chiefs have their work cut out for them. The new CDS they just have to be able to make sure that some of these issues that is really putting
but we can
us on
see
our
we can
inside
see the new service chiefs have really been up and doing when it comes to, you know, trying to reach out, trying to network, trying to travel from place to place, trying to see what is going on.
Yes,
we hope that translates into
it does.
what you were saying.
Yes, what Mike, is a good one, because first and foremost, you have to win the confidence of the people.
Yeah.
Because without the cooperation of the people on ground, definitely there's no way the military can be able to achieve that, because most of the information they need also comes from these people. You have to come from the villagers. They have to tell you. They know them. They know most of these people. They know the routes they take. They are the ones that are closer to them. And for you to be able to deliver, most often than not, you need their cooperation. But my also challenge is that because of the kind of way we structured our security architecture, most often than not, whatever information that's passed by these people to the military or our security agencies, find a way of getting back to them. And those that post those information at times get killed and the rest of them. So that disconnect must be breached. You must make sure that whatever information that is being passed to you by the people does not get back to. There have been instances where you make a report about a non-robber or whatever, and the person gets arrested only for it to by the police. For them to
You were the one.
You are the one that did this. Okay, you say we know here. Okay, maybe we'll come back with it.
Yeah.
So that disconnect, we've been having a lot of what the news. I like what the news services are doing. They are moving around, trying from the east to the west and the rest of them, try to build some level of competence and bring some kind of. And one thing very germane again, that the PDP governors, very, very unlike them, came out yesterday with a statement that they will support the new service chiefs. That to me is a very good one. So it's no longer between APC, PDP. It's not political.
In fact, the issue of playing politics with security is one thing everybody has said. Let's Insecurity is not a respecter of anyone.
It doesn't have any face.
But there's a gap that I'm saying. Of all the movement, I'm not seeing the IGP in this trend. And you know, it's more of the police than the military men. We need the police because we've been advocating for community policing. But police, they are supposed that their primary area, we are not at war. This one that the chief of army staff and the CDS are moving around, this is the duty of the IGP.
No, but we assume that as the military service chiefs are doing theirs, the police is also doing theirs.
So don't forget, the IGP is not just coming to office. The man has been there for years.
He's been there.
So he has been moving. This was just about 2, 3, 4 weeks around. So they need to move.
Okay, that was why you were talking about
initial grad. So you cannot understand the issue of initial grad.
No, we hope
take that into your vocabulary.
CKN. Is that right?
There is always a vocabulary to let them
of course. We're learning a new one today. You know, but we hope that all that translates into what Nigerians are hoping. Another thing there is, if you look at the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, Borno elders and experts are telling government, the federal government, to hire mercenaries that can handle some of these things. But the NSA, the National Security Advisor, is saying that is not the way to go. Now, I spoke with the security expert, retired military officer earlier on, and he said, the Air Commodore that I spoke with, Air Commodore Yuba, he said that the issue of mercenaries may not necessarily be the way to go. But if the security agents, they know when to, if need be, and if it gets so bad and you have to bring them in, you know what. But what do you make of this?
I'm an advocate that there is no need for hiring any machinery. We can solve this problem ourselves if the political will is there. If we can synergize.
But is 11 years of fighting insurgency?
Yeah, it's because we keep saying it. The political will is not there. Do you know the number of years it took the president to give this kind of order of shoot at sight, when even the leaders are saying that it's free for some people to carry AK-47 and they're still moving freely. So not until we have some of those actions coming in place. But I'm an advocate that says we need not to hire any machinery. We can solve the problem ourselves. We've done it in other countries for some other people to bring peace into it, so we can solve same within our own context.
Mike, as a roundup, there's no country that is in isolation of itself. It's a collective thing. Countries use mercenaries, but they don't go to the pages of newspapers to say that. They are the way they are embedded. You don't need to inform anybody, okay? Because at times, some of the intelligence you need higher intelligence to be able to deliver this. Israelis do that a lot. So there have instances where we've invited Israelis, we invited South Africans and the rest of them. They have a higher way of tracking some of these things. I don't see any reason why we can't do that. But what I'm saying is that we don't need to come to the pages of newspaper. Whichever way the military will be able to get this issue done, let them get it done. Yeah. All we want is peace and make sure that this thing is nipped in the bud. Final.
Bam.
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 All right. Chris Kedingwandu, thank you so much for coming on the program. Really appreciate you.
Have a wonderful
Sheson Kwade, thank you very much for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here, Mike.
Right. You're watching TVC Breakfast. We're looking at the headlines earlier. We just